This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
Hi guys, it's Sheena here, and today we're going to do a little 10-minute yoga series to increase flexibility. This is a great video to tune into if you are a fitness person or you love working out or you do some yoga and you're just looking to become more flexible and gain access to those poses that you see and want to do. So be sure to do this video a couple of times each week. You can even do it every day and you will see increased flexibility. For this, you will need a strap, so go ahead and grab a strap, and if you have them, go ahead and grab 2 blocks as well. Even one should do the trick. All right, y'all, so our first pose is gonna be just a standard forward fold, and we're gonna hold each pose for 5 breaths. So let's go ahead and inhale and rise those arms nice and high. And on the exhale, use the whole length of the exhale to fold forward to the mat. Now, if you can't reach the mat, this is where our block is really going to come in handy. Go ahead and use it on the highest setting, or you can bring it down to the lower setting, and we're just going to hold. Keep breathing here, and the idea is to really relax with each exhale. So every exhale brings the crown of your head closer to the ground. Keeping a slight bend in those knees, and over time, the more that you do this video, you should be able to straighten those knees and slowly bring the palms to the mat. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Notice how with every exhale, I'm able to get closer and closer to the ground. Let's slowly rise up 1 vertebrae at a time. The arms come last. We'll come for an upward salute. And let's bring those hands down by the sides. Our next pose, guys, is gonna be a triangle. So we're gonna do a triangle on the right side. Go ahead and plant that right foot, and we're planting the left foot as well. When we look down, our feet are in one straight line here. Bring 1 block handy, so bring it to the inside of the right foot. We're gonna bring those arms out to a T position. And on an exhale, we're just gonna reach the right hand down to the block. Again, depending on your flexibility, you're gonna wanna use this on the higher setting, maybe the highest setting, maybe the lower setting. Just play around with what feels good here, and we're gonna keep breathing here. Keep twisting into that left side body. And actually, this is a little tip. One thing I like to do when I'm in triangle is bind the left hand behind the back and really open up that left shoulder. One way to really gauge your flexibility here is to see if you can bind and grab for the inside of the right thigh. Keep breathing, extend that left arm, and stay nice and lifted through that right side body. Take 1 more deep breath here. And let's go ahead and remove the block. Let's bring the arms out to a T, and we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So bring that block to the left-hand side, the inside of the left foot. Let's inhale, arms out to T, and on the exhale, we're just gonna tick-tock down. A lot of people, when they're in triangle, it's tempting to wanna crunch in, but let's really stay nice and lifted through that left side body. And this is where the block comes in handy. It really gives us that extra lift that we don't get when our hand is just planted on the ground. I'm able to reach the ground, but I use a block in this pose anyway because it gives me that extra lift. Option to bind the right hand by the lower back. Keep it here at the lower back, keep twisting through the right side body, or see if you can grab for the left inner thigh. Again, eventually over time, the longer you hold this pose, the easier it will be to access that bind. Let's inhale the right arm high once more. Take 1 more breath here. Keep pulling that right hip back. And on the exhale, let's remove the block and come back to standing. Our next pose is going to be a revolved triangle on both sides. So really the importance of revolved triangle is it gives you flexibility in the hips. So revolved triangle is just triangle, but switching the placement of the hands. So instead of the right hand coming to the inside of the right foot, the left hand is going to come to the inside of the right foot. And we're going to twist through that right side body, lengthening through both sides of the body. One thing that's really going to help you here is continuing to pull that left hip back, stay nice and firm in that left foot, and keep twisting through the right side body. Option again to come to the highest height, especially for a revolved triangle. You really need a lot of flexibility in your upper back and your hips, so you might need to come to the highest height when you first start out doing these stretches. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Keep lifting and lengthening. Last breath here. And let's go ahead and slowly come down. We're going to do our revolved triangle on the other side. So bringing the block to the inside of the left foot. Let's go ahead and inhale, arms to T. And on the exhale, we bring the right hand down to the inside of the left foot. You know, revolved triangle is a great way to see which side you're more flexible on. For example, I'm more flexible on my right side. So every time I do this pose, I'm able to twist a little deeper on the right side. Again, keep lengthening through that left side body, keep that right foot nice and firm. And this pose should really feel like, the best way I can describe it is it hurts so good. You will be sweating a little bit, but that's good. That sweating means you're increasing your flexibility with every breath. Keep lifting and lengthening, and remove the block once you feel stable and like you can get closer to the ground. Let's take 1 more breath here. And go ahead and slowly come down. Hi, Sophie. And let's come up to standing. We're gonna come now onto our bums. So let's go ahead and sit down, get those blocks handy. All right, guys, we're gonna come to a seated wide-legged forward fold, and we're gonna work on what we in the yoga world call pancake. So pancaking means trying to get your chest as close to the floor as possible, and this is gonna help increase flexibility throughout the body, throughout the hips, the upper body, the legs, everywhere. So let's go ahead and get those blocks handy. Stand up nice and tall, bringing the legs out to a V. Keep flexing those toes up towards the ceiling. We're gonna inhale for length, and on the exhale, we're just gonna drop the forehead down to a block. Now you'll have to play around here, but really you wanna get to a place where you can feel a nice deep stretch in the hips. You let go of the neck, let go of the upper back. And we're gonna hold this. With every exhale, you should be able to get closer and closer to the ground. Nice, slow, deep breaths here. And again, keep thinking about flexing the toes up to the ceiling. This is a great pose to show people that through the breath, I am able to get closer to the ground. Take 2 more breaths here. Also, guys, last breath. When I first started doing this, I wasn't even remotely close to the ground. And 6 months later, I'm actually almost there, which is crazy. Let's slowly rise up. We're gonna go ahead and bring those legs to center now, and we're gonna roll onto the back. You won't need your blocks for this one, but go ahead and grab your strap. And we're gonna do reclined head to toe pose on both legs. So first, let's start with the right leg. Let's loop the strap around the bottom of the right foot, and we're gonna keep our left foot in a bend here. You can also straighten it, but I like to bend it, especially for beginners. This is just what feels best. And we're just gonna take 5 breaths, continuing to bring that right leg into the chest. Don't hyperextend, guys. Be sure to keep a slight bend in that right knee. And keep pulling it closer into your chest. Again, this is increasing flexibility in the legs as well as in the hips. Last 2 breaths here. Last breath. And go ahead and slowly release the right leg. You can give it a quick little shake just to get that blood flow back in. And let's switch sides. The reason we use the strap in this pose is because it really helps the leg get closer to the chest versus just using our hands. Make sure that low back is nice and planted on the mat. And remember, every time you're holding these poses, if you can hear your breath, that's a really good thing. So really try to exaggerate the length and the sound of your inhales and your exhales. You may be tighter on one side, and that's totally normal. One more breath here. And go ahead and remove the strap, release the leg, give it a little shake. We're going to stay on our backs here for our final resting pose, our Shavasana, but this time we're going to take Shavasana with supported butterfly just to help increase flexibility in the hips. So bring the blocks underneath your knees, and we're going to bring the feet to touch. You can bring your hands to your chest, your belly here, or just bring the arms down by the sides as usual, palms facing up. And again, with each exhale, your knees should come closer to the ground. Shavasana with supported butterfly is really one of my favorite ways to take Shavasana because it really helps open up the hips. And so many of us do have tight hips from sitting, driving, whatever it may be. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. But of course, if you're taking Shavasana at home, you can hold this pose anywhere really from 2 to 10 minutes. Final breath here. And go ahead and remove those blocks. Slowly bring the knees back into the chest. And join me as we roll up to a comfortable seated position. And that's your flexibility flow, guys. 10 minutes, it's easy, it's quick. You can do this every day, every morning, every night. You can even do it twice a day because it is so low impact and it's just stretching. Make sure you take some deep breaths and have your blocks and your strap available, and you're good to go. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.
Many of our subscribers don't see our videos. Make sure that you click the notification bell. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration.